Good morning and welcome to Morning Manna on this 4th day of July. As you've probably noticed, it's dark where I'm standing, and I am standing outside. And no, I'm not on the other side of the planet. I'm actually pre-recording this, but for a very specific reason. You might be wondering, why am I pre-recording this Morning Manna before the 4th of July? Well, because night is quite possibly one of the best parts of the 4th of July. So once it gets dark, under the darkness of the sky, there'll be fireworks. And perhaps you'll be watching or waiting for them later today, for the fireworks to go off. But the one thing about fireworks is the nearer you get to them, the more impressive they are. Just a little while back, I was sitting at Troy and Megan Fisher's house on their back patio, and it's a really nice back patio. And their house has just a little bit of elevation. And they said on the 4th of July, they can see the fireworks display from St. Paul, they can see it from McMinnville, and maybe another city. They're at a distance. It's a nice place to watch. I also, when we were living in Brazil, we had a place to watch the fireworks displays from our back porch. And we could see them off in the distance. They would do theirs off at New Year's Eve because the 4th of July in Brazil doesn't mean a lot to them. But New Year's Eve is when they'd shoot them off. But one year we decided we wanted to go feel those fireworks. So we went closer to where they were lighting them off. And it is something different to be close, to feel the booms of those explosions. So a lot of times we'll drive to get closer. We'll sit in fields or riverbanks with a couple thousand other people so that we can get closer, so we can be more impressed, so we can feel the booms, the exploding fireworks. That's impressive. The grand finale, it's great, and we enjoy them. But have you ever been to a fireworks display and seen one of those big fireworks go off, explode on the ground? When that happens, it's not just impressive, it's scary. I remember at my brother's bachelor party, he lives in Alaska, and he invited a bunch of us to go up there. And the night before he got married, we had a bachelor party, and he has a fireman friend who's a bit crazy and a smoke jumper. And so we had this big bonfire on the beach. There's no danger of, we were surrounded by water. There was no danger of anything catching fire. And so this fireman friend of his brought out a bunch of illegal fireworks. And we had fun kind of lighting those off and seeing them go up in the sky. And then someone had the bright idea to throw one of those fireworks directly into the fire. Well, when we recognized what was going on, we all ran for it because it was scary. We became fearful. And so as we look at fireworks and the power released in fireworks, we have to understand that the closer you get to the firework, the explosion, the scarier it becomes. When you're watching it on the Fisher's back patio, it's, oh, that's nice. When you're in a field with a couple thousand other spectators, it's wow, and you get the oohs and the ahs. But when it's at a fire at your feet, then you're running for your life. The nearer you are, the more you fear the power. You know, that's what the 20th chapter of Exodus was all about. The children of Israel were feeling the same way about God. The previous 17 verses, the first 17 verses of the chapter, God was giving Moses the 10 commandments. Then in chapter 17, verses 18 and 19, we read the following. Now all the people witnessed the thunderings, the lightning flashes, the sound of the trumpet, and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they trembled and stood afar off. Then they said to Moses, "You speak with us, and we will hear, but let not God speak with us, lest we die." So they took a step back. To what they thought they were at a safe distance. They didn't want to get any closer, so they sent Moses. And to be fair, the presence of God to be in a presence of a being that powerful must be a powerful and awful thing. When I say awful, I mean full of awe, something inspiring fear. For when we look in the book of Isaiah, in the 6th chapter, the prophet had already been serving the Lord for quite some time, and he was caught up in a vision, a heavenly vision. In the first few verses of the 6th chapter, it says, "In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting on a throne, high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above it stood seraphim. Each had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. And one cried to another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory." And the posts of the door were shaken by the voice of him who cried out, and the house was filled with smoke. So I said, this is Isaiah speaking, "Woe is me, for I am undone." In God's presence, something near someone being near someone that powerful, the prophet had fear. And that's pretty natural. It's human nature. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. Fear of God is a good thing. But if fear is a good thing, how can we be near? How can we dare to be near someone so powerful, someone so pure, and someone so holy? Well, God answered that same question shortly after he gave Moses the 10 Commandments. In 5 chapters later, Moses was giving, or God was giving Moses, the instructions for the temple and for the Ark of the Covenant. And so we read verses 20 through 23, "And the cherubim," these are God's instructions to Moses, "shall stretch out their wings above, covering the mercy seat and their wings." This is the lid of the Ark of the Covenant. "Covering the mercy seat with their wings, and they shall cover one and another. The faces of the cherubim shall be towards the mercy seat. You shall put the mercy seat on top of the ark, and the ark you shall put in the testimony, the ark of the testimony that I will give you. And there I will meet with you." That's close. "And I will speak with you from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubim which are on the ark of the testimony." The answer to fear being near is the mercy of God. From a place, God comes to us from a place of mercy. We don't have to fear him when we draw near. From the New Testament, we know that is because of Jesus and his sacrifice. The writer of Hebrews can say in Hebrews 4:15 through 16, "For we do not have a high priest who cannot sympathize with our weakness, but was in all points tempted as we are, and yet without sin. Let us therefore come boldly to the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need." He says, let us come boldly to the throne of grace. Because of Christ, we needn't fear when we draw near. One last near and fear verse before you head out and enjoy this day. And this one's even a little patriotic, speaking of the 4th of July. Psalm 85:9 says, "Surely his salvation is near those who fear him, that glory may dwell in our land." May we fear him, that his salvation may be near, that his glory may fill our land. Have a great day.